will be somewhat of a positive message. I think we try to do that every Sunday. Sometimes the messages might not sound as positive as on other Sundays, but hopefully you leave here with something that is positive, because we hear so much that is negative. And I've said this before, I've heard pastors talk about other pastors that they were talking about love too much. Their messages were too positive. They were too focused on love. They were too focused on something good and compassion and all those things. And instead, we should be focusing on, condemnation and all those things that will happen to you if you don't follow the rules and the regulations. But rules and regulation, that's religion. That's something you follow with your head. You follow the rules. You follow the regulations. But see, we follow Jesus, and Jesus is someone that you follow with the heart. We don't have control over a lot of things in our lives. One thing we don't get to decide is who our parents are. We sure don't know when our time on earth will be up. For some people, we know today is that day. Only God knows that day. But with all the things that we can't control, there's one thing that we have complete control over. And that's how we're going to live our lives. Now, the Lord is the Spirit. And where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And we, who with unveiled faces all reflect the Lord's glory, are being transformed into His likeness with ever-increasing glory. Unforeseen circumstances that arise that take us one way or the other, but we make decisions about our lives, don't we? We decide how we're going to live. If anyone would come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for me will save it. What good is it for a man to gain the whole world and yet lose or forfeit his very self? Jesus knew that He was going to die, because that's the reason He came to this earth. That's the reason He came here. And that would seem kind of morbid to a lot of people, that you only came here to die. But He also knew how He was going to live His life while He was here. It would stand to reason that during let's say the last month, just the last month of His life, it would stand to reason that He would focus His attention. Jesus focused His attention on the people and the things that meant the most to Him. Jesus showed us how to do this. For by the grace given me, I say to every one of you, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment, in according with the measure of faith God has given you. Just as each of us has one body with many members, and these members do not all have the same function, so in Christ we who are many form one body, and each member belongs to all the others. We have different gifts according to the grace given us. If it is serving, let him serve. If it is teaching, let him teach. If it is encouraging, let him encourage. If it is leadership, let him govern diligently. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in brotherly love. Honor one another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor, serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with God's people who are in need. Practice hospitality.